Helicopters and lifeboats are still scanning the waters around the Dutch coast.
Enforced 7 waves between 2 and 4 meters snow shower.
The accident, which occurred around 30 nautical miles from the port of Rotterdam, claimed the lives of as many as 11 sailors.
5th of December 2012, 6:15 in the evening. The North Sea, 30 miles south of Rotterdam. Snow, 3-metre waves. In the dark, wind and freezing cold, 2 cargo ships collide. The container ship, Corvus J, and the car transporter, Baltic Ace.
That night, the barmaid here in the Mission to Seafarers Centre called me to warn me about the accident. She was at that moment looking at the computer and she could see the Baltic Ace, she said. But then she suddenly said, "Oh no, now it's gone. The Baltic Ace is gone." And so probably that was the moment when the ship went underwater.
And that was exactly what had happened. The Baltic Ace had heeled over and sunk into the bitterly cold North Sea. The Corvus J, badly damaged but not in danger, joined other ships and helicopters in the search for survivors. 13 of the Baltic Ace crew, including the captain, were rescued, but 11 were lost. The mission went into action.
This was definitely a night to remember. My colleague, Anke Muller-Robinson in Vlissingen, telephoned me to say that at least 4 survivors would be coming into Rotterdam and that we would be caring for them. Your very first reaction is, in fact, what the Mission to Seafarers is about. This is what we're for. All right, okay, we're on to it right away. Thanks for ringing. Fortunately, we have many, many years' experience as a mission and as a charity that particularly cares for seafarers.
At the hospital to which the survivors had been taken, that care was sorely needed.
We found 4 men in a state of utter shock. They had escaped from the vessel wearing very little clothing. So we were able to give them clothing. And also, we would be able to give them an immediate small amount of money. And perhaps most importantly of all, if they wished, we could contact their families.
On the other side of the North Sea, news of the disaster meant shock and sorrow for those in the mission who had got to know the crews of both ships well.
The phone went at 6 o'clock in the morning and a colleague said, "Have you heard about the Corvus J?" And it's the call you dread. People you care for, people you know are in danger.
We knew quite a few of the crew and the captain as well. And strangely enough, the Nordic Ace, which is identical to the Baltic Ace, came in the river, and I went on it the first time after the incident. And it was so eerie because it was as if you were on the Baltic Ace. But when I got to the deck into the crew's mess, who should be standing there but the captain of the Baltic Ace. 2 seconds. Every year we have, on the 6th of December, we have St. Nicholas, which is patron to seafarers. And we always mention the Baltic Ace crew. We have a flower arrangement and we light the candles to represent the 11 crew members that lost their life on the vessel.
Being there for seafarers in times good and bad, happy and sad, is at the heart of what we do. Key to that reaching out is ship visiting, bringing the work of the mission to seafarers wherever they find themselves worldwide.
We're their only contact that they can talk to, because otherwise they're dealing with shipping companies and official people. So we're there to give advice and basically listen to what their needs are.
I hope maybe in future we can have the seafarers mission in every port. That is the dream, I think.
The Baltic Ace Corvus J disaster is an example one of many, of how the mission to Seafarers stands up in the hour of need. But supporting seafarers at all times is the mission of our chaplains and volunteers, whenever and wherever they are needed. That's why we are trusted by seafarers worldwide to be there for them.
I quite often, when I'm preaching, talk about what would you want for someone who was a long way from home. If someone you loved was a long way from home, what would you want for them? And the answer I always give is a friend. And I think whether we meet our seafarers once or 1,000 times, my ambition is always to have that moment of friendship, that moment of connection with them.